And waking those kids up was probably not an easy task in your house this morning. They're out of their routines, and to make it worse, we had a time change right at the first weekend of spring break. So to learn how we can help get those kids back into good sleeping habits again, we're talking this morning with pediatrician Dr. Aida Khanum. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I am ready for some magic bullets here. I mean, how can parents help get their kids back on a sleep schedule? We've sort of been letting them sleep in, stay up later. A lot of families were traveling.
Yes, it's been hard. I actually just dropped my own two kids and both of them were like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
So a couple of things. I mean, this is what I usually try to recommend when they're out on spring break. A couple of days before they need to go back to school, trying to kind of get them back on a nice evening routine, having a set bedtime. That's really important. Dinner at a certain time, a couple of hours before they go into bed, making sure your kids have, eaten a good meal, exercised in the day, been out. And then once it gets closer to bedtime, really trying to avoid any screen time. We kind of say about a couple of hours before bedtime not to have any screen time, definitely having no screens in the bedroom. And then having, for the little ones, it's like a sort of a wind down time. It's, you kind of get them to go have a bath, and then maybe read a book, and then try to go into bed. Those are the things that you kind of do. I would say it takes a couple of days to get that started. But once they're in a couple of days, they kind of get into that routine. So those first couple of days, it might be a little hard to get them into bed. And so when they wake up in the morning, they're a little more tired and, cranky. But as the days go through, as long as you stick with a good bedtime routine, they tend to kind of start to get back into that routine.
Yeah.
The concern really is also for our teenage drivers. I think that's one of the things we talk a lot about is our teenagers. You don't want teenage drivers to be tired. So really focusing on that group, I think, is a big thing. And it's hard.
Yeah. No, absolutely hard. And so I have a new teenager. He just turned 13. He's not driving yet. But then talk about how much sleep children need based on their age. And is there a difference in what my 8-year-old needs versus what my 13-year-old needs?
Yes, so it sort of changes. So, from little babies, the age, the number of hours of sleep is about 16 to 18 hours. And then as they grow, it starts to go down. So your toddlers get about 10 to 12. And then, as they get older, it's about anywhere from 8 to 10. Now, we've seen that, so around an 8-year-old should be getting anywhere from 8 to 10 hours of sleep. But once they hit adolescence again, their sleep sort of goes a little on the longer side. So they kind of tend to sleep later in the evening, but want to sleep in the morning. It's just the way the hormones kind of make changes. And so often you will find your teenagers, especially on the weekends, you'll see them sleeping in to try and catch up on those hours of sleep that they kind of lose or miss out on during a regular sleep a week, because, they tend to end up having so much homework and getting things done late into the evening and then waking up in the morning the same time. So there tends to be a deficit of sleep, which they tend to catch up on the weekends.
And that's okay. I mean, we've always heard never wake a sleeping baby, but do I wake a sleeping teenager or just let him rest?
Let them rest on the weekend. I think, just let them catch up. It's just fun. It also helps. Sleep is important for energy. It is important for rejuvenation, to improve your, boost your immune system, helps improve your concentration in the day. So it does a lot of things and helps you grow. So, we do want our kids to get enough sleep. So yeah, just let them sleep.
Absolutely. Dr. Khanum, I'm going to throw you a curveball because we didn't talk about this, but what do you say to your patients who ask you about giving melatonin to their kids at bedtime? Good or bad, or it varies?
So I was talking about this last week. So really, we don't recommend it. Like, melatonin is a natural in your body. It tells your body to go to sleep, but it is a not FDA approved hormone like substance, which is available in all kinds of different formulations over the counter. And so there is such a thing as melatonin poisoning. And so we really typically don't recommend it. If there is a concern, I would recommend really bringing it up to your pediatrician. And at our practice, Pediatric Pod Concierge Pediatrics, we have the time to talk about it, but really kind of bring it up to your pediatrician, see if it's something needed. We do prescribe it often for children who have any kind of neurodevelopmental problems, like kids on the spectrum, to help them with the sleep, but really it should be a recommendation from your pediatrician.
Got it. And then last question, you talked about having no screens, digital devices in their bedroom, but what are some other ways that we can sort of make their bedroom inviting and like a good place for rest, for quality sleep?
Right. So yes. So one of the big things, I have 3 boys that are over the age of 11. We've always had a sort of technology-free area. So your bedroom should be technology-free. I do not recommend any kind of technology in the bedroom. Blackout curtains are great. I think a lot of people don't realize the light in the morning can sort of stimulate wakefulness in people. So there are some people that are very sensitive to it. So I think a blackout curtain in the room will allow your child to, if they are sensitive to the light, to sleep a little longer. Sort of a relaxing environment. So, books, sometimes they say, light music or pleasant smells, and the temperature should be on the cooler side. Those are a couple of things that you can do to kind of make the environment in the bedroom such that the child now knows it's time to wind down. I mean, that's the real goal, to kind of wind down, relax, and then be able to go to sleep quicker.
All right, all very good tips. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you feel like would help parents?
No, just make sure, just expect a little bit of a hard couple of days that they go back this week. But it'll get better. It does. You'll notice tired children because they woke up early. So within the next couple of days, they'll kind of be tired towards the end of the evening. And just sort of make sure they've eaten and kind of get that, catch that time when they're exhausted. So they go to sleep, and then you'll kind of get them flipped right back onto a new schedule.
All right. Very good information. Thank you so much, Dr. Aida Khanum, this